Hi, it's Gab here, and I've got Dad back with me on the phone. Hi, Dad.
Hello, Gab. This is Dad. I'm still sitting down here in Nova Scotia, and in a minute we're waiting for Hurricane Bill to hit. So this may be, who knows what's going to happen. But in the meantime, let's talk about Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, this will be an exciting review.
Film, not our friend.
No, not our friends, the film Inglourious Basterds. This will be an exciting review. We'll stand by and see if Dad blows away before the review's over. But yesterday I saw Inglourious Basterds here in Toronto, and you saw it there.
I saw it here in Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, just up the road.
So we both got to see it on opening day yesterday, Friday. And of course this is the much anticipated Quentin Tarantino's latest film, I think his 6th. Premiered at Cannes earlier this year, and anticipated because it's Tarantino, and obviously because it's starring Brad Pitt, or it's marketed as starring Brad Pitt, and Nazis get killed. So you've got lots going for it.
Yeah, I like this film a lot. I found it, first of all, as you would expect from Quentin Tarantino, very original, constantly full of surprises. Secondly, the tone of it is interesting. I mean, it verges at some points on the comedic. It's hard to make the Nazis funny, but it happens. But sometimes it's, as you would expect from Tarantino, violent, gruesome, and black. But it always keeps you guessing, and I like it.
So you like the combination of...
I don't know if you like it, Gab, when I shut up. Let me just say that this is not Brad Pitt's film. This is Christoph Waltz's film. He plays the SS Colonel, central figure, and he's brilliant.
I agree with you there, definitely. I mean, it's being marketed, it's being pushed as Brad Pitt being the star, I mean, for obvious reasons. And he does play a large, obviously key role, but in terms of stealing scenes, stealing the show, as I think you put it, it's Christoph Waltz, who is a relatively unknown Austrian actor. He was unknown to me, and he plays the head Nazi, and he's got this charm and smarm and an evil finesse that's quite riveting. It's quite magical.
Yeah, no, it's an extraordinary performance. I think I've seen Christoph Waltz before. He looked familiar to me, but I can't quite place where I've seen it. Maybe in the supermarket in Bridgewater, I don't know. But it's a superb performance. Brad Pitt, I can't make up my mind about his performance. I'm not sure he was all that successful in it, but it was an odd role, hard to pull off. What do you think, Jeff, about that?
Well, to me, I think the role was a caricature. I think it was meant to be. I mean, all of these, all of the characters in this film pretty much are a certain kind of archetype or caricature, and I think that's on purpose. I think that goes with the film and the tone, as you mentioned. So I think because it was such a enlarged a character of his, I think he pulled it off. I don't think it's nuanced acting. I don't think it's groundbreaking acting, but I enjoyed it very much. I found it usually quite hilarious, his line delivery, and quite commanding.
Yeah, he's very funny.
I really was, always chuckling at his lines, which is partly the writing, although I didn't think the writing was anything spectacular in this film. To me, it was mostly the performance, his and the other performances, that really energized each scene, and I thoroughly enjoyed all of his scenes, and I think he was a good yin to the yang of the Waltz's character.
Now, we often complain, Gab, you and I, about movies being too long.
I couldn't wait to mention this.
It's a long one. This is, what, 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Too long, would you say?
Well, I think we should call our show Gab and Dad, and it's too long. I mean, I say that about almost every movie, and yes, I would say that about this movie. It is too long, and to me, when you overdo something, it detracts from the overall, success or enjoyment of it. And with Tarantino's known for drawing out his scenes, mostly because he likes to draw out his dialogue. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't, and I don't think it's justified to do it to every single scene. And I think there were definitely scenes here.
Some scenes, I mean, without giving anything away, there are a couple of scenes which are riveting when it comes to the tension that he manages to create.
Especially the first one.
You know something's going to happen, and he takes his time about letting it happen. Lets the whole situation slowly unfold, and I think that's done brilliantly. I mean, it's just, you're on the edge of your seat.
Definitely, I agree. There's certain scenes, but those are scenes that are quite integral to the plot and the point of the movie, where there's other scenes where it feels too self-indulgent with the dialogue for dialogue's sake, which is a hallmark of Tarantino. But again, I didn't think the writing was quite elevated enough in this one to justify such long interludes of dialogue, and a lot of it was repetitive in many ways.
Well, that's true, but I have to say, though, I sat there and Cynthia, your stepmother, sat there for 2.5 hours, and we were one last thing before we go, and that is, I don't want to give it away because it would really be a spoiler, but the ending of the film, which is not historically accurate, I found extremely satisfying. You just said yes when you saw that.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a historical educational film. It's an exploitation. It's a revenge flick, and so those satisfactory elements are really delivered upon. I have to say, in my theater, there was I would say borderline cheering. I mean, there was certainly that tone in the theater of yes, as you put it. So I mean, to leave a theater on that note is highly satisfying.
Yeah, so I recommend this to people. I think it was certainly one of the best movies of the summer and worth going to see. So that's me from Nova Scotia. Probably the last word you'll hear before we get blown away by Hurricane Bill.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen. We need to...
Thank you.
I want to do another review, if nothing else, more reviews with you, but I agree with you on this one. I enjoyed it. I do recommend it. I don't think it's necessarily Tarantino's best or the best of the summer, but it was good fun, and if you can't catch it in the theater...
My favorite, as you know, is of his is Kill Bill. That may have something to do with Uma Thurman, but there you go.
Yes, this one didn't have Uma Thurman in it. Sorry, Dad. Maybe next time.
All right, well, I'll be off now. I'll be back in Toronto soon, and we'll be both broadcasting live, which I'm sure our fans will look forward to.
Live. Great. Thanks, Dad. Miss you. Bye. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for some information on Gab and Dad's first giveaway. Hi. Gab and Dad recently surpassed our 100th subscriber mark, and we thought it was time to give a little something back to our viewers and fans. Now, we're a modest operation here so far, so what I've got for you is a DVD. It's of the movie Troy. We just reviewed Inglourious Basterds, of course, the Brad Pitt vehicle. So Troy is from a few years ago. Another opportunity to see Brad Pitt kick some butt, not Nazis, but nevertheless, and he's blonde in this one. It also stars Eric Bana, who's sort of the surprise star of this summer '09 of films. He's been in 3, all of which Gab and Dad have reviewed. Star Trek, Funny People, and the latest, Time Traveler's Wife. So you've got Brad Pitt, Eric Bana, double your pleasure, double your fun. What more could you ask for? And it's a 2-disc widescreen version of Troy. Not a bad movie. Well, some people may disagree, but check it out for yourself if you win. So how this works is that I'll be pulling a name from our current log of subscribers, but also give new subscribers a chance. So any new subscribers that we achieve by the end of the month, August, so that would be the 31st, your name will also be eligible to win the Troy DVD. And I will draw that name and we'll notify you guys who won. So just our little way of saying thanks, and we'll try to continue to do so, providing prizes and, of course, our exemplary reviews. So please keep watching. Thanks a lot.